for the Sean Capri, and welcome to We the GamerCast that publishes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play every single Monday. Patrons get it first. Thank you for subscribing and rating the show on Apple Podcasts and sharing with your friends and telling your mom and telling your dad. I told my mom today. Thanks for telling your friends. Thanks for sharing it, for retweeting, for all the things that you guys do to make sure that more people find the show. It's amazing. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I am jazzed up, man. This is the episode. It's actually been a bit of an annual thing over the last little while, but guess what? I'm already getting way ahead of myself because if you're new, here's the deal. Every week I have sweet hangs with a stranger, or in this case, a friend from the internet. We talk about life and video games, and if you want to be on the show, it's easy. Just tweet at me at Sean Capri. Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. I'm in I don't know what's going on, guys. I feel like my voice is kind of here. It's kind of got like a, yeah, let's do this. It's, I'm ready for it, man. I had a good day with the kiddos. We caught Pokemon. We went to the old, EB Games. It still says EB Games on the store, even though they have now switched over to GameSpot here in GameStop. Damn it. That's why I don't like it. I don't remember what the hell it's called. Anyways, EB Games, we went and we grabbed, WarioWare, Get It Together. Earlier in the week, I picked up Sonic Colors. I'm playing new games. I've been looking forward to these things, and I cannot wait to be talking about those things on the Xbox Drive and on the Nintendo Drive. I almost said on We the GamerCast. That's not where I'm going to be talking about this. The episode today is with Lee Navarro, the fearless leader of the Extra Life team, Phoenix Overdrive. And I have been fundraising with Lee for a number of years. We're going to get into that in just a second. But one of the reasons I've been able to actually travel for Extra Life and really put a lot into it is thanks to Patreon, actually. So please, guys, if you agree that video games bring people together and you want to support what we do, you can go to patreon.com/YouMeCapri. You power this community and you support independent content. For $1 a month, you get early access to all the shows. For $3 a month, you get exclusive content like the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons Podcast, which, by the way, you might have noticed on this feed, I gave a little preview. We're going to do that over the next couple of weeks. So you get a little sneak peek of what the hell I'm even talking about. So hopefully you enjoy that, about 10 or 12 minutes or so. And then it's, hey man, come on over to Patreon. Go check it out. So definitely really excited about that. And while I'm on the topic of Patreon, I want to thank everybody who supports us over there. Almost 70 people, which is amazing. And I want to give special thanks to our Capremium producers, Dallas Ford, of course, Lee Navarro, who I'm talking about today, and Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on the Xbox Drive and the Nintendo Drive. You can support Jonathan Brown at youtube.com/PME Entertainment. He was on the show. Was it last week? Last week. Jonathan Brown's amazing. Look at this. The Capremium producers. Dallas Ford. Get on in here, dude. The Platinum producers, Robbie Bobby Miller and Trucker Sloth. And our Gold members, Argo, Benji Kong, Brendan Myers, Dallas Robbins, Dano, Emily O'Kelly, Foolish Fuji, Joel Brooks, Jose Jimenez, Mac Time, Marcus O'Neill, Mr. and Mrs. Nasty Boots, RJ Kern, Skinny Matt, and Xavier Reyes. You guys have all been here with us for so long. And I'm so appreciative of all of you for it. Thank you so much. So I will be traveling to New York City, first of all, and then also up to Rome, New York, staying a couple extra days over there. And I will be live with Lee Navarro and the rest of the Extra Life team down there because we did it in 2019. It was amazing. We're going to get into that. And before we talk about Extra Life, I just want to give a fair warning. You guys, we're going to absolutely geek out about some PC stuff. Okay, we're talking about the gigaflops and the teraflops and all the FPS, all the things. Okay, we're going to talk about that first, and then we'll get into Extra Life. But really, if there's even a remote possibility that you can make it, and we're gonna do our best to make sure that this is a safe endeavor for everybody involved. It would be great to have you. If you can't make it, then still joining for the Extra Life team, you can go to extra-life.org. Join us. You can play virtually. You don't even have to stream. Whatever you want to do, man, hit us up. This is I think the perfect time. We're just getting into September, and the road to Extra Life is here. So I guess that's kind of all I wanted to talk to you guys about. We're going to get right into it. Lee Navarro is one of my favorite people on the planet, and basically when we met, he I can't remember if this is on the show or not. We might have talked about this after we stopped recording. But basically when we met, he was like, hey, if you're ever in upstate New York, and this was 5 years ago. He's like, if you're ever in upstate New York, you should come on down. We should meet up. You should come to Extra Life. He had the invite to me from the moment we met, and we didn't know each other at all. And he's just that kind of person. He is so dedicated to this cause. I'm so honored to call him a friend. I admire him greatly. He pushes himself. He's in service and servitude to others, and I just love that. This man is one of the greats. Please enjoy my conversation with Lee Navarro.
I upgraded it, and I got a new processor, new motherboard, and I'm doing a whole water cooling thing. So I ended up having to take it all apart. New case. Basically, everything is new except for the cooler, the memory, and the power supply and the graphic card. I'm still waiting for a new graphic card because it sucks now.
Yeah, you've got to get ninjas out there, man.
Right, no joke. Like I'm constantly waiting for Best Buy drops to occur.
Oh, really?
Not happening.
What are you gunning for? Are you going 3090?
Yeah, I'm trying to go for a 3090. But it sucks. It's a terrible market. I can't buy any of the GPUs. I'm trying to get one for Becky for hers. I'm trying to get a white 3080. For the kids, I'm trying to get them 3060 Ti's.
Mm-hmm. You can't even get those? That's what I was going to ask you. Like, you don't want to drop your bar or anything like that?
No, I can't. I'm not low. I'm not going low on that one.
Well, not on that one. I guess not. But yeah, you're in the market for all of them. You can't get any of them.
Right, exactly.
So is this a bad time to change up your PC, dude? Why didn't you leave it? It's going to sit there.
Well, I still have my 2080 Ti, so I'm still going to use that.
Yeah.
Okay, first world problems, that'll still work.
Yeah.
I guess.
What bottlenecks could you have been coming up on with that? Were you at all?
Well, here's the funny thing. So before Extra Life last year, everything was working fine. And then I think, 2 weeks before, it was 2 weeks before Extra Life. And my processor just started to not handle games.
Oh, really?
I couldn't play anything. Nothing was working. No games were working. Everything kept crashing on startup. So whenever I started up a game. Now, of course, I'm thinking to myself, well, I wonder if it's my graphic card. Now, I was hoping it wasn't.
Yeah.
So now, luckily, I was able to switch out to a Ryzen 5 3600, which was $200 at the time, because I wanted to wait until the new Ryzen 5000s came out, but that wasn't going to happen until literally the day before Extra Life.
Oh, snap.
That was on November 4th. So I said, no, not going to wait for that one. I'm just going to grab the processor, and then I can take that processor and put it somewhere else after I get my new CPU. Then I got the new CPU in I think it was in March of this year.
Yeah.
And I did not touch it at all until maybe 2 weeks ago to install it on this motherboard, which I also got probably in April.
So does that mean you were still having the troubles that whole time, or you just weren't gaming or anything?
No,
or?
I just wasn't really gaming on my PC, just because by the time all of that rolled around, I had baseball, coaching baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Work was getting crazy. Our my company right now is, I think we're at 200 plus days of a backlog for manufacturing our product. And then at home life of just catching up, plus all the little catastrophes that have happened around here. I've told you about those, and I said, Jesus God, one thing after another. So I'm finally to the point, we feel like we're finally to the point where, okay, we're finally starting to get caught up. So I was finally able to tear down both my main PC and the streaming PC that we use, and because both were going to get an upgrade. So everything just tore it all down. My entire living room and dining room was taken up with computer parts everywhere.
I've seen it, man. I've seen the basement at the very least.
Yeah. Oh, and then that one, we had to change it up for Becky because her on her side of the basement. Now, when you came over the last time, her desk was in that area where after you got down to the bottom of the stairs, that's where her desk was. We moved that over last year before school started for last year because the kids were going to do virtual schooling.
Yeah.
So we moved her to my area, moved my desk over, and then just maybe 2 weeks ago, we had some type of water issue because it was raining so much, like water was coming up from underneath the flooring. So just in the particular area where where she was working. So we ended up having to rotate her big U-sized desk. So rotating it so it's facing the other way so that area was cleared. So that way, none of her work equipment or her personal equipment were going to be affected by water. And I mean, it was just, and right now her personal workspace has her work computer on there, but her personal computer is still sitting in our living room in the corner. Yeah.
What needs to stop? What needs to something needs to give here, Lee?
Right. I know. It's just one of those. It just kept going and going and going. And I said, you know what? We just need to get everything done, and then we will finally catch up and be at a good spot. So I feel like we're almost there. My personal computer, my main gaming system is basically waiting for one part to arrive from because it's a custom made part. So I got
not
that
the graphics
ordered.
card. You're waiting on something else.
No, yeah. There's something else that it's a GPU bracket, but I had it custom made to fit this. Yeah, the whole thing is.
Why
insane.
does it sit like vertical or something or what?
It's
or just because the GPU is so gigantic.
Exactly, because my GPU is so gigantic, and I didn't want to get this crap ass $15 GPU bracket from Amazon.
Yeah.
So I wanted something that was actually custom designed. It's got my PC's name on it, and it's going to be intense.
Wow. Is it like 3D printed custom? Like how do they make that? Yeah.
They 3D print it. They have like a big glow forge that they use basically.
What is that? What's a glow forge?
It's a 3D printer type of thing. You should check it out. It's like $5,000.
Good God.
Chelsea would appreciate one.
I know, dude. She's all into it, man. Like it's so funny because she'll often comment on. I don't know if she wants me to share any of this kind of stuff, but she's in like Cricut groups with like all that kind of stuff, and then also 3D printing groups. And it's like the Cricut groups are for like the moms, the women are in there, and then the a bunch of guys, and then her in the 3D printing group. And she's like, I get way more help in the 3D printer groups. Like dudes will just be like, and I don't know if I don't think that it's like dudes hitting on it. I just think that it's like people wanting to help each other instead of the competitive cutthroat women nature in the Cricut groups, man. It's they should have a Netflix show on that.
Her and Becky should get together because Becky just got a Cricut a couple of months ago, and she's just starting out with it. So she's loving it so far. I mean, she loves it, and that's the other part of her office space is like having this like arts and crafts section of for her stuff.
We have the same thing down here, man.
Yeah.
It's funny because people will look at our setups and go like, "Holy crap! Like, is that enough?" And then you look at an arts and crafts room. Look at look at a scrapbooking person. Look at a Cricut person.
Exactly.
It's like, they're about the same. I'm not saying one's better or worse than the other, but like let's talk about those maybe within the same conversation. You know what I mean?
God. And the thing is because she's Becky's trying to kind of do this as like a side thing, where she wants to sell on like Etsy and everything. So I actually got her a new camera to like take pictures with and everything. It'll serve as like a second. It'll also serve as a webcam for when hopefully we get back to our podcasting life that we've been like trying to get back to. So it's going to be it's a nice camera. It's the Sony ZV-1 something. I can't remember the name of it. I just said
everybody seems to get the Sonys for when they want to use it with the whatever it's called. What the hell's the Elgato thing?
The
Camlink.
Camlink. Yeah, I've got. I mean, I got a Sony Camlink, or I got the Sony something R7 or something like that.
Sure.
A couple of years that like R5 or something, whatever they're called. And then there's the Sony AX camcorder is now. That's basically my new daily webcam driver. So whenever I was doing it's a nice camera. It's like it's a camcorder, but it's 4K, very smooth. I love it.
It's all about
So,
choices, isn't it, man? Like, it's all about
absolutely.
like how much is too much. This is something I've been thinking about quite a lot lately. And then you come on and tell me a little bit about little insight into your life. I'm like, well, maybe things aren't so bad.
No, exactly.
It sounds like this list of, you know, it's been like that since I've met you. You just always had like, you know, a trillion things on the go. You seem to always like have more coming on, and it's impossible.
It's nonstop. I mean, I just sit here and going, all right, what have I done the past year? And I'm thinking to myself, holy crap, it was such a blur.
Yeah.
From Extra Life when you came down, 2019.
It
was an absolute blur.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you guys, you know, everybody came down. We had a great time. And then I went into the holiday season. Then after that, started coaching basketball for my son.
Mm-hmm.
We had his season. His season gets done literally a week before the pandemic takes over the entire world.
Yeah.
It's just, and I said to myself, what the hell happened between the beginning of the pandemic and now? Because there's just been so much. It's just been, and you know what? It's not even overwhelming. I never want to say that I'm overwhelmed, because I feel like that's me kind of saying I can't handle it.
But you'd be fair to say that you're overwhelmed by it. Like that. Like, what do you mean?
But at the same time, though, like, I welcome the challenge.
Of course you do. Yeah.
I'm the type that says, all right, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, this past spring, when Becky basically voluntold me to coach baseball, and I'm going, okay.
Yeah, figure this out.
Yeah, sure, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out with my time. I mean, and it was just, I mean, you know, we had practices and then games, and then had to reschedule games because, you know, rains and rainouts and everything like that, and then dealing with like some of the parents,
just people. That's what you're talking about, like the logistics of it all. But I'm thinking people, man. Like people make things really, really complicated.
That you know what, I have to say, one of the benefits that I had was I had two of the dads of my team help me out big time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with making sure that the kids were staying on top of things. The kids were you know, they were adjusting well to playing the sport again after being off for literally 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, some of these kids did not play ball last year. The other, you know, there was like, I had 3 kids who played last season, and they ended up being my 3 best kids, obviously, for, you know, but, you know, it came out, you know, they came out and they performed as well as they could be.
Sure.
As they could. You know, I couldn't have expected much more out of what they gave to me. So and it was fun. I actually enjoyed doing it. So, you know, it's something that I told them I'll be back next year. We'll be back with pretty much the same team. So, hey, maybe better times next year. But like I said, it's just one little challenge after another. And I'm the type who, I kind of go a little crazy with some of the things. Like Becky's told you before about all my cable management fiascos that go on.
I want to jump back to coaching though, because I think this is really interesting. Like, I don't know if I know the story. Like, where did you, other than your wife telling you to coach this year, where did coaching come? Like, you don't just maybe you do, but like, do you just become a coach? Like, did you want to become a coach? Was that something you had in mind, like, for a while?
So basically, Becky was actually a coach herself a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
So there was 2 seasons where she was a coach because there weren't enough.
Sure.
And you know, and she wanted to step up because it's for the kids. She wanted to be there to give the kids a chance to be able to play the game and learn something. And obviously, you know, I helped her out during those 2 seasons, basically just manning the scorebook. But there was a couple of times where I basically like just jumped out of the dugout right there in the middle, right there, like right on the sideline, and I'm instructing my pitchers on what to do because I was noticing how they were pitching. I was telling the batters, you know, how to square up and to make sure that their knees were bent and all that stuff.
Where does that come from? Where does your knowledge come from?
It's because I played before, and then I also ended up. I mean, that's my other passion, my other nerdery is sports.
Yeah.
Sports history.
Baseball,
sports
basketball, or just
baseball, basketball, football.
Oh yeah.
Hockey.
Yeah, there you go.
I have an obsession with hockey.
Yeah.
watching the Olympics, I was literally watching every single night, every possible event that was occurring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever was on, whatever swimming, track and field, or whether it was, handball or, even the most obscure stuff.
Totally. Yeah. Stuff is on ESPN 8, the Ocho.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dodgeball.
Exactly.
Bring it on.
Exactly. They should make that an Olympic sport. Dodgeball.
I can't believe. I mean, they'll get there. Give it another decade or so. They'll get there. They're just taking care of like golf and skateboarding and a couple of these others.
Yeah. Well, the fact that in Paris, what was that? Oh, breakdancing is a sport. Breakdancing is going to be considered. It's going to be a medal sport. I'm not kidding. When I heard about
man.
that,
Whatever.
What?
All right. The Greeks will be proud. Well, so the reason I want to ask like where the coaching kind of came from is because like. I don't know if you become aware of this maybe after the fact or if you're thinking about it in the moment when you're coaching, like these kids will remember you. Like obviously your kids will remember you. Yeah. But like I played sports all growing up and there's a handful. I had many, many coaches, but there was a couple who kind of like stuck with our team for many, many years. And like I think about those people very, very fondly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we had, and I don't even know how many, like I don't think we really won all that much. Like I think we had a decent team. But we had these coaches, these people, and as I've gotten older, you kind of realize, man, they were busy. Like these people who show up for either if it was high school, they're there at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I didn't necessarily anticipate coaching basketball or baseball, only because. It's one of those sports where I love the sport. I love the behind the scenes aspect of it. I love the science of it, but I didn't anticipate doing so because it was just so. It wasn't like one that I played as much. Mm-hmm. Basketball was my number one sport. That was like the sport that I wanted to do, and it was something that I did for. I want to say like almost 10 years. Yeah. So it was something that I definitely knew a lot more about. But, but baseball just came around. And I think what happened is those 2 years that I kind of helped out in the dugout, I really enjoyed kind of educating the kids and seeing what they were able to do. And when, like this, one example that I got from it was I had this one kid who he was pitching and he was kind of like wild all over the place, with trying to get the ball to the catcher. So I remember I sat him aside one day during practice. Actually, no, it was during a game. And I said, here's what I need you to do. I said, forget everything that you've learned up to this point about pitching. I said, let's change how you're pitching, because when I noticed with him, his angles were so off that he was unable to really just locate his catcher and the catcher's mitt. Yeah. And I said to him, square up on it, keep your feet together. And then when you're about to start your wind up, make sure that your left foot, when it lands in front of you, make sure it stays straight, that you don't drift left or right, and watch where that ball goes. And when he did that, he finally nailed the motion. He was able to hit the pitch. The next 9 pitches were all strikes, and he was able to strike out the entire side, and it just clicked with him. And I said, "Huh, that actually worked."
You got to tell him something. Like clearly things aren't going well. You got to say something.
And exactly. So I said, "Oh, let's try something different." And I just watched his motion. I said, "Oh, let's change how you do things. Let's see what goes." And it sure enough, it's something that has been a tried and true thing that's worked for me, because I had a new kid that is his first season playing, and that was like, oh, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know how to pitch, but I want to learn how to pitch. Yeah. And so he was able to do it. He was able to just start pitching. And I said to him, get that arm strength up, work out over the winter, and you'll be able to throw that ball past a lot of the batters next season. I can guarantee you that. It like I said, it's just one of those. It's just something that I started enjoying and wanted to keep doing it, and just couldn't say no to it.
So do you think this kid is going to remember this? Like this was recent, but do you think this that lands for him as kind of a transformational moment?
I hope so. We'll see what happens. We'll see how he does next season. I mean, I've got him for another year or two, I think. So we'll see how he ends up and what he ends up doing as he enters the next couple of seasons. And he says he wants to keep playing.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Do you ever just want to, like, because you played before, like, do you ever just want to get out there and play? Like, do you just want to, like, just give me the bat, like, just give me the ball, let me play, man. Like, maybe save it for practice time.
I think for me, it's not necessarily me getting in on the field. It's more of me watching them.
Yeah.
I love seeing how they play, how they get better. I love seeing their faces when they hit the ball and they're able to get on base. I had one kid this past spring. He wasn't a bad kid, but he was kind of like he was one of those kids who had like a different situation because his mom and dad were split up.
Yeah.
So different rules for different households. And he kind of had like his dad's influence was kind of not the more positive side of things sometimes from what I've gathered from his family members. So he ended up hitting a grand slam in one of their games, and like his smile, because I was there as the third base coach and I'm telling him go, just get home, run home, and he was able to make it home, and just a big smile on his face, and the whole team was just so happy for him and with him. And that to me was just that was one of the more defining moments of our past season, was just that game.
Yeah.
The kids like totally gutted it out, and they really they did everything they could, and they won. That was a great day for them. They absolutely deserved it. Had a ton of fun with it. Definitely had a ton of fun.
Do you feel like that's sort of like a mutual, like it's a win-win for everybody? Like it's something that you kind of have to do. It's an obligation for you. It takes time away from maybe other things. You might want to be like working on that PC. You want to be playing games, but like you're there for the kids. Like, is that kind of like if you're going to do something that's not 100% for you, like that's kind of like the next best thing, if not maybe even better.
Yeah, it's more because I'm helping kids out.
Yeah.
As I think you know this about me. Like I wanted to be a pediatrician for the longest time, and that's not something that ended up working out for me. So I think the next best thing in the world for me is just helping kids out, and that's why like Extra Life is so big for me, because it's helping kids out. That's why coaching kids at this age. I love doing it because I hear the things that they say, and it's funny enough. My son, his best friend asked him if I was going to coach basketball again, and he told him that maybe, and he said, and his friend told him, well, I hope he does, because I really had fun playing basketball for him.
Yeah.
Those are those moments that are just so affirmative, that if they're having fun, if they're enjoying, if they're learning passion, what passion is about, because to me, without passion, what's life without passion?
That's interesting that you pull that out of what the takeaway is. There's obviously, I think there's many takeaways out of sports, and for some reason, like I kind of hone in on the challenge, but there could be like teamwork and collaboration, and there's leadership and all these things. It's interesting that passion is the thing that you pull out of that. One of the things I love about the Olympics are the human interest stories that come out of it, and because you see the passion that come out of athletes who don't necessarily have the training programs that other more wealthy nations do when it comes to sports. My home country, the Philippines, actually won its first ever gold medal this past Olympics. Did they really? Oh, wow!
And they did, yes. And the athlete who won it is women's weightlifting.
Yeah, and
they told about how she trained by attaching a wooden bar on like heavy pieces of like items that I don't exactly remember what it was, but that's how she trained. She doesn't go to a gym. She doesn't have a weightlifting gym to go to or a program that she adheres to. She works out. She does what she does, and she went for it. And the thing is, she won a gold medal because of all of that. I should say, despite all of the difficulties that she faced with training, and because the Philippines doesn't necessarily have all the money in the world.
Yeah.
It's a third world nation, and it's very difficult there with the poverty level so high.
Or even like the research, you're now in the point where like research is driving gold medals,
right?
How much time in between reps and what's the max? Like
exactly.
You're min maxing in real life. You know what I mean? Like
that's exactly it. You're doing your +1 year agility.
Exactly. That's where it all comes together for us, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
It all goes back to your stats and your character, but and it's just those are absolutely like my favorite aspects of the Olympics. It's just all of the human interest stories that detail the passion that the individual has to be their very best, whether it's being a medalist or whether it's just being able to complete the course or complete the round or whatever it is.
Did we just discover like the next best video game is actually like an Olympics trainer tycoon type of thing? You've just got like this giant facility you can invest in. And you've got like the swimming pool over here, and they're putting money over there.
We should start developing it.
I'm telling you, man, that actually might be. I mean, we might have to call it something like the Schmolympics, or like. I don't think we can use the word Olympics, but.
We can submit a request for licensing.
Yeah, the ancient Greece athletic competition.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know what you call every 4 years. Like it's not like an annual or biannual. It's like
it's called the Olympiad. I think that's what it is.
Oh, I guess that makes the every 4 years is an Olympiad.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I believe.
Well, son of a bitch! I don't think we can use that either. You're right though, and and I always think about trying to. Like how much really to take on all the time. I'm always thinking about this stuff. And then I jump on a call with you and it's like, well, there's more, and I'm always kind of like waiting for the day where like something that I really do 100% for me, or like a lot of this stuff, especially it's like one of these days, it's like, it's just physically not going to be possible. Like I will hang on to it as long as I can until it's like, okay, actually like I really just don't even have the time. Because I'm podcasting at lunchtime just to make some of these things work at this point. And it's perfectly fine. Like, it's totally great. Yeah. But yeah, one of these days, maybe I'll be forced to go back to the office, and that kind of shifts things for me. And I'm kind of just grateful for every moment that hasn't happened. But you kind of mentioned like with Nerd Overdrive, like what was it that kind of went, okay, you actually, this can't be a weekly or, whatever. You guys haven't done it in a little while. I'm curious about that decision.
I think a lot of it has to come down is coming down on the fact that when we do come back, we want to be able to get back the old magic that we had.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think part of it too is, finding how we did it, but in this, I guess, in this year, in this day and age, not necessarily like back then.
Don't you think that more of it's just like the fact that you stopped makes it harder to start back up again?
It definitely does. It absolutely does. Especially finding the routine for it, because our lives just got so much more busy and chaotic, and between with the kids, how old they are, and more the extracurriculars that they have. Yeah. I know, as you know, Ray has health issues that he's dealing with that, it gets in the way. And when it comes down to it, okay, yeah, we'd love to do the podcast, but at the same time, what's it going to cost us? Is it going to cost us time with our kids? Is it going to cost, for Ray, the ability to rest and to feel good so that he can take care of his own kids?
Yeah.
It all comes down to that. And, I know one of these days we'll find that moment where we can say, yes, we're ready. We're going to come back. We're going to do this. And we've been tossing around ideas on how to do it. And whether we should, as far as our schedule, should we do it on a weekly basis? Should we do it on a bi-weekly basis? Should we get like a whole bunch of episodes recorded in a single day and then just release them as the weeks go by? And, that's basically one of the things that we're having to question. And the other parts is, okay, does it have to be all three of us, or can it be two of us and then like a special, guest co-host, or what if it's just the two of us and the third can't make it? Okay, let's just go run with it with just the two of us.
Yeah.
what all these things that we've thought about, and we've definitely discussed it. And for me, it's we just have to find that moment. That's all. And I think we'll get there.
You like things perfect. Would you say that? Like you kind of like things like
I do.
Like you're meticulous about so many things.
I'm so meticulous. It definitely is a strength and a weakness. Yeah, I will admit to that. It is such a strength and such a weakness.
Like, is that a factor in like a kind of this being a non-starter backup? Like it's not perfect, so like don't even do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, and here's the worst.
Do you wrestle with that a little bit? Do you go like, I mean, that's just the way it is. It's not perfect. We're not starting back up again, and that's fine.
You know what? In the time that I've been married to Becky, I've grown from wanting everything perfect every single instance to being able to let go of some of the things.
Yeah. So I'm with you on that road, man. I think we're,
yeah. I've had to, and I think it's a matter of, I just needed to grow up with it.
Yeah.
It was a growing up thing. But I definitely, one of the things that I guess that wasn't a hindrance per se, but made the thought of podcasting difficult was because, as you know, our podcast is a video podcast. So, we had to record a video, and then I have to edit the video, and then, upload it, this, that, and the other. Well, the editing portion was the one that really got me.
Yeah.
Just only for the fact that after editing a video, I had to transcode it to a file format that could function on YouTube, could function on Facebook, on Facebook Watch, all these places. So the thought of having to wait for my computer to transcode it was just unbearable because of my processor that I had at the time, this past year.
Which, by the way, was still probably 10, 15 times better than what most people have on theirs. But I'm not saying, I'm saying that as I'm with you on that because my PC is like, I don't really game on it. It's the most like horsepowerful podcasting thing. I didn't want to wait for Audacity to export. Yeah. So I'm like, obviously NVMe. I've got to be recording on the fastest possible hard drive. Thing.
I have it on. I have my NVMe drive. That's great, But my processor was the one that really stood in the way because it was only a 6-core, 12-thread processor.
Only.
Now, of course, all this since 2017, from 2017 until last year, I was running a 12-core, 24-thread processor. But because I downgraded from a high-end desktop processor to this mid-range regular processor, I was a little, I noticed the difference, and I saw how much longer it took.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I even had to do a video for work, actually.
Yeah.
So my work had me record a video that they wanted to show to a customer. And so I got it recorded and everything, and then I started to edit it and make it pretty and everything. And then when I told Premiere, okay, encode it, Adobe Premiere said, that's going to be a while.
Like, are you sure? Have you cleared your schedule? Do you want to go for a walk?
I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So I said, all right, encode. And I was sitting there and just started encoding. And it was something like 4 hours plus to encode it. I'm going,
you can hear your computer making noises like back in the day. Like you can hear just like, like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You're petting it. You're like bringing it water. Do you need anything? Do you need a drink? You're patting it.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why, like I said, all right, that's it. I'm going back to like the high core processor count. All in anticipation of. I mean, I want it to be at peak performance. So. To me, I said I wanted to invest in it. And that's the thing, that's my other love is my computer. It's like I want it to be perfect for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the goal is.
Yeah. How are you staying up to date with everything? Like you're basically doing your own. I feel like you just do your own like kind of primary research, but like how are you staying up to date on everything?
Well, it's watching the YouTubers who do this type of stuff for a living, basically.
Yeah.
Like your own.
Like they're a high end
country.
kind of thing. It's not like you're looking for. You have a discerning. I don't know if it's a discerning taste, but like you cannot be fooled. Like if I started a YouTube video or YouTube channel and like here's what I think, it's like no. Like you're looking for like the top tier kind of voices out there.
Yeah, I'm one of the ones that I go to is actually your own countryman, Linus Tech Tips.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, he's big. I absolutely follow him. Jay's 2 Cents, who's out in California, he is a big one too. I love his takes. Well, not just his takes, but just how he does things. Like he shows the modding that he does, the work, the behind the scenes work that he does. Gamers Nexus with GPU Jesus, Steve. He's that right there to me is one of the top channels to go to when it comes to learning about, I guess, the inner workings of a computer. You know, why even with cases, he evaluates a computer case on a lot of different things like airflow, heat dissipation, things like that. And then another one is Moore's Law is Dead, which analyzes the CPU market, you know, and the GPU market and what's coming, what's rumored to arrive. And I mean, he's nailed it on so many different occasions this past year with AMD. So I mean, I trust him, and I mean, I'll branch off and watch other channels too. Like if I'm trying to find out information on, you know, something that they didn't cover, then okay, I'll search it up on YouTube and see what other people have to say about it. But you know, for the most part, I like to read what those guys put out there and look into it. And you know, I trust their information. I trust how they discern their data, because I think they do a good job of research. I think they do a good job of analysis. So
yeah.
You know, they're the ones that I trust the most, and I apply what they know or what they've informed me, and try to kind of figure it all out on my own too, and what my own knowledge set is all about. So you know, it's a mix, but yeah, definitely I like to listen to their opinions and see what their takes are.
So what is your, like, when you're building your PC, like what are you after? Like, are you after, like, is it a gaming performance thing? I mean, that seems too general. Like, is there a particular set
for mine
of benchmarks that you're looking for?
You know, that's a really good question.
Because otherwise you just throw like all the money at it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how else to kind of like, I'm almost there with you. You and like, there's like the devs of the world. There's a few others that just sort of like, you guys are just that next level up for me. But I do feel like if you're going to invest time or money in anything, like you kind of probably have a goal. Like maybe you don't, maybe you just want to get running fast, but I do feel like you're kind of narrowed in on something.
I do. Let's see, for me. Okay, so what I did with this one is I started off, okay, what do I already have with my current system prior to this? And I said, all right, I definitely want to upgrade my processor. I know 8 cores and 16 threads would have been perfect for gaming.
Sure.
Because you really don't need more than 4 cores or 6 cores, but I wanted to have it be more than just for gaming. I wanted it to be a multi-purpose system.
Okay.
So, especially for especially with when it comes to my work, you know, being an IT administrator, I wanted to be able to connect to my work with the databases that I have at work, and all the other things that I do as far as my job is concerned. You know, I wanted it to perform where it was allowing me to do it in a timely and efficient manner.
But why can't, and this is where my knowledge breaks down, is why can't you just have like a beefy something and it's just good at games and workstation? It seems like there's something in there that takes it in the gaming direction versus more like workstation data number crunching. Is that the difference?
It's not necessarily.
Is it multitasking that you're after?
It's a multitasking perform. It's multitasking plus definitely gaming. High refresh rate.
But you don't need multitasking for gaming. Is that the point? Like for gaming, you just want to just like hammer it home. For work, you want multitasking, which means you know each task is not going to be quite as powerful, but it's able to do 50,000 things at once.
Exactly.
Got it.
I don't. When it comes to gaming, I don't need 64 gigs of RAM.
Right.
I have 64 gigs of RAM on this thing because that's just
right.
I mean, and then the streaming PC has 128 gigs of RAM on that.
Why? What?
With a 16 core 32 thread processor with 128 gigs of RAM, and has a 1 terabyte NVMe that's PCIe Gen 4.
What in the crap, man? What are you doing?
and it has that new Elgato, the Camlink Pro, with the one with the 4 HDMI ports, so you can plug in 4 different cameras.
Oh wow!
Then there's another capture card that's a 4K capture card. Then there's a regular 1080p capture card, and then there's a 1080 Ti in there.
So are you using this at Extra Life this year? I can't remember if because I know you had how tall was that case that you had on your?
That thing was like the size of like a 7-year-old.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like 4 feet tall almost.
Yeah. It's I actually moved on from that case. The new case that I got is it's a smaller case.
Almost anything could have had to be smaller.
It's a mid-tower case. One of the things I wanted to do was to be able to be a little bit more travel efficient.
Yes.
Because lugging that other one around, I said, no, I can't keep lifting this thing up back and forth.
You're going to throw it your back, man.
Exactly. It was either that or I buy like a personal dolly just for that one.
That's what I was thinking, like the engine lift, like for a car.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, I downgraded to this case. I mean, I did 3 or 4 months of research on the case to get.
Yeah.
And then I settled on this case. And then now Corsair releases another one, and I'm going, well, what the hell? Now I want that case.
That's always the way it goes, though. Like, you know that as well as anybody else. Yeah.
Well, that's why, even though I'm going to be finishing this one in the next couple of weeks, I'm already planning its next build in December, because I'm going to change everything out to be a full water cooling loop, because that's my dream. That's been my dream for the past couple of years, is to go full custom water cooling. Yeah. I want to make my own like tubes and everything just because that's the other thing about me is I'm a tinkerer. I think that's probably the truest answer to what I was asking before. It's like, what are you after? Like you want it to be amazing. I don't know, something amazing. with all the RGB on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, even let's be honest here with this machine and the other one. I have the power supply cables are RGB.
Oh my god!
Yep,
start up your own dance
RGB.
party with this. You fire it up, man.
I can. I can. I'll have to show you a picture of it, but because I finally got them to turn on, and I got all the RGB lights going. So it was impressive. It was definitely impressive what I was able to what came out of it. So
I wish I could just like bring my stuff down to you, or like fly you up here and just kind of go like, just have some fun, man. Just like do a little something, because I feel like I've got just a little bit here. Like my like anybody who buys any keyboard or mouse now, like it's going to come with its own kind of thing. But I haven't brought myself to spend that extra money on RAM, or to your point, power cables or anything. Like I can't do it, man. It's just too much. It's just it's a little more. And even still, my setup is still like kind of insane when you think about like what I use it for. Like I'm surrounded by screens now, and everybody I talk to is like, okay, do you really need that? I'm like, I will find a way to have a 32-inch screen in the middle and two 27-inch screens on the side. Like I'm all about that.
I have a 49-inch super wide monitor.
I know.
And on top of that is
every time somebody calls me crazy, I'm like, just go talk to Lee. Okay? Like if you think this is overkill, like he's setting the bar, man.
Yeah, and for Christmas last year, Becky got me these light towers. All their purpose is RGB light towers. That's it. There's nothing else to them. They're just friggin' lights.
They're just lights?
They're lights, but they're light towers, and they're sitting on my desk, and whenever music plays, they start to do the whole thing with the they're just light towers.
I feel like it's kind of getting in everywhere now, though. Like kids are like lighting up their rooms with RGB, although it's a little different. Like it's kind of, I don't know how else to describe it, but It's just like I don't know. It's like ground effects that people are like throwing up in the corners of their rooms, and
it's just effects. And both my kids have an Amazon wish list, and they were like, "Dad, what's a good RGB for the room?" I said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For this past summer, I ended up buying this RGB thing for our TV. There's a camera that's attached to the top of the TV.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the back, it mimics whatever colors it's seeing on TV.
I would actually like that quite a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Chelsea would not so much. Chelsea didn't know, not even a little bit. We might get a bigger TV maybe this Christmas, maybe something big, but we'll see.
I got it. I installed it. I turned on a movie, and Becky came up during work one day and was like, "Holy crap! Is that the new RGB thing for our TV?"
Yeah.
Yes.
What was it called? What was the Xbox that had something like that, or Microsoft did something? I can't remember what the heck that was called. It did like the whole room. It's just expanded. I feel like you and I kind of fuddle with this every time we bring it up, but that was a thing. Sure, somebody will remind me about that. Let's talk about Extra Life a little bit here.
Yeah.
Extra Life is happening. The world continues to change. My books are my books are flighted. My flights are booked. How are you doing with it, man? Last time that everybody was coming on down in 2019, you showed me a picture of like your whiteboard or chalkboard, and the push pins and the yarn and the pictures and everything. Like are you at that stage? Like, do you even need to start from scratch?
We're partially at that stage. The funny enough, tomorrow after work, myself, Becky, and a couple others from the team are actually headed over to our site location, and we're going to do a site survey.
Yeah.
Because it's been a couple of years, so we're trying to just recollect. Okay, where were the plugs? Where were the Ethernets?
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to avoid the situation where in 2019 where we had like kind of cables lose power because somebody's computer was like kind of acting up like crazy.
Yeah.
So we're trying to avoid that. So what we're doing is we're going to list out, okay, what plug is on what circuit breaker. Let's break down, what's the limit for each row.
Right. So you're kind of estimating or guessing maybe, or you actually know in certain cases, like people are going to be, this dude's bringing this powerhouse of a unit. He's got to sit here kind of a thing.
Basically anybody that is bringing like a gaming PC, they're just going to have like their own row just because they're...
Yeah.
Fans
everywhere.
Exactly. With my setup, I am going to take like an extension cord, and if you remember, there was that little cubby room right behind where I was set up,
mm-hmm.
and right behind that actually was the main kitchen.
Yeah.
So their kitchen has high grade
for like appliances and stuff.
Outlets. Yeah, exactly, high capacity outlets. So I'm going to take an extension cord and plug into the back there, so I am off grid from everybody.
So that gaming PCs can be powered from the power outlets that are there for appliances.
So. Exactly. So, we're at that stage where we're planning that aspect as far as who's going to sit where,
mm-hmm.
And what we're just basically waiting on before we do our everybody already knows what's going to happen, but we wanted to still do like the big reveal on Facebook is, just to give everybody an information heads up on what the requirements are going to be, because we still got a pandemic going on, so we want to make sure we're taking care of everybody. We want to make sure we're keeping everybody safe. So that's still going to happen.
That's still coming.
Once we have I get all the guidelines that we need from our hosts. So
mm-hmm.
They're in the final stages as far as gathering up, finding out whether they need to. Whoever they need to be there overnight, just for security purposes. So we're going to do that, but we're going to be in the same room
mm-hmm.
as before. I absolutely fell in love with that facility, to be honest, because that was our first year there, and it was such a terrific experience overall that I said I need to bring us back there. And now, as far as people are involved, we're going to try to bring in as many people as they want to come, obviously, but. There will be some guidelines in play as far as vaccination and proof of vaccination and masking and all that. But it's to keep everybody safe.
Sure.
We don't want to be the reason why people get sick or worse. and I think this one this year is going to be a little bit extra special, also a little bit more bittersweet, only for the fact that especially for involving you and Bobby, that was the first and only time we unfortunately met him in person in 2019, and it's just so difficult still to kind of process. But at the same token, I want to do this because I knew he was very passionate about helping us out.
Yeah.
And you too, your entire group has been passionate about it, and we wanted to come back strong this year with an in-person event that help kids and to also honor Bobby's memory as far as the types of things that we did for Children's Miracle Network. And so yeah, it's going to be I think we're going to have a great time. We're going to have a lot of fun playing so many different games there that day. And we may not have as many people as last time, but at the same token, I think it's great that we're just going to have everybody together.
Yeah.
In the same space, in the same room, just doing something good, doing something great for kids.
It's so important to me. It's so important to me that I'm almost blinded to what it takes to get there at this point.
Yeah.
There are actually a lot of obstacles, and there's a lot of people who have been kind of talking to me about stuff, and like everybody has a really good reason for not being able to make it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Like not that it's, I don't know that I'm making it more important. It's just I like I said, the best way to say it is that I'm just kind of blind to what it's going to take to get there, and what I don't even know at this point. I mean, I actually don't know.
out of everybody that has ever come to us, you are like the furthest. And then and
no, I feel like there was somebody who was further than me last. I think we did that game. I can't remember exactly who it was.
Oh, you know what? There was Mason who came from Oregon.
Yeah. So I think technically, maybe, yeah.
So well, I don't know.
I'd have to map it out, right? But anyway, not necessarily. Yeah, not a competition.
Canada gets that extra.
Sure. Yeah, we have to do a border thing, and it's a whole thing. What about
exactly?
It wasn't until I'll kind of be mulling this over for the next little while, but it kind of popped up in my head about I'm going to have, I think, maybe some of the same people coming back and being in the same space. Obviously, you and I will be able to hang on once again. I think a couple others have said, yeah, I'd like to come back, but it wasn't until just thinking about it, how it's like Bobby and I we went up together, and then we went home together, and it's like that's going to be different, and that's kind of hard to just visualize. I don't know that I'd actually visualized it until this moment. I keep thinking about the room, the space you're talking about, like all the screens and your giant PC case, and there's the actual transport of it that's way, way different this time. So
exactly. Well, the other thing too is I think I'm also glad that you'll be able to come, a little bit earlier so we can we can see you, and and that's going to be different in a good way. I know the last time around it was like a mad rush to get you from the airport back home, and then
it's kind of like the best though, wasn't it? Like it was almost, I don't know, like it was super inconvenient for you. You actually went out.
Oh God, no!
For me, it was like
but
whatever.
The thing is, I was so prepared to go back and forth between Syracuse for so many people, and
you get into event mode. You just sort of I don't know, you turn something on.
Oh yeah.
I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to make it the 24 hours, and somehow it was like me. There's me, and then Kevin Austin definitely he was just like. I think Josh as well, Josh Barboni next to him maybe, but I definitely remember Kevin just lasered in on either Apex or Fortnite. I think it was Fortnite.
You guys, I remember I fell asleep at my chair because I was just so tired. Because
of course, you're running the whole thing. You're on another level. You're kind of at a 12 out of 10 the whole time. Just
it was
sweating buckets and making sure everything works.
I had to be, and I had to make sure that we were broadcasting properly. I had to make sure we were online. I had to make sure that
everybody's getting along too. There's so many moving parts to this that I don't want to overwhelm you. Just thinking about holy shit, I hadn't thought about this thing, whoever the videographer was, or whatever the hell.
Listen, I have a running list on my iPad of all the notes that I have, and it's just to make sure that I don't try not to forget something. And you know what? At this point too, this is one of those moments where I've grown up with this, in that if I miss something, I miss it.
Yeah.
And then if we see that if we have to handle it the day of, we'll handle it the day of.
It always works out.
Exactly. It always does. And I know, I mean, this year has been a little on the more difficult side when it comes to fundraising for, to fund this event.
Yeah.
Because that's what we used to be able to do is we had like little events in town that we would do like a bowl-a-thon or other things like that. And we used to have these little events that we could do, but unfortunately we haven't this year. So, my first real task once we get it all locked down is finding local businesses, small businesses that will be our primary sponsor for this event.
Yeah.
We're doing everything we can to make sure that everything is taken care of. So it'll all come together. I have no doubt about it.
You have a filter, and I am sensing the filter big time because you've never even brought that up. And it's to the point where if you've been at the event, like you don't even realize, like you kind of just have to use your real, like run a brain and realize that somebody had to pay for this. It's not like you can just waltz on in and it's all like just provided.
Exactly.
It didn't just like magically appear. Like there were some sort of, expenses were incurred. So yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, let me know if there's anything that we can do. We can chat offline about that.
But
what about for people? A couple of people have kind of been asking me, and I feel like sometimes it's actually best coming from you. Somebody's never been there before. What can they expect, or what do they have to do if they want to come? Do they need their own gear? Do they have to stream? Like, do they have to? What do they have to kind of come? How can they prepare?
So I always refer to the Extra Life Starter Pack. That. So if you are an out-of-towner, like in your case, we will do our very best to provide you with, at the very least, a monitor that you can use with your console. Most consoles today, HDMI.
Yeah,
easy enough.
I may have told one or two people to go into Rome, go to the Best Buy in Rome, buy a monitor, and then return it the day after.
That's something that I've also told other people, so I don't.
Okay.
You should buy a TV and then just be like, I don't know, this doesn't fit in my room.
It's not really going to return it.
It's not going to cut it. So we'll do our very best to provide you with a monitor.
Sure.
But bring your own
contact
console.
You kind of like, should we? Is that the best way?
I mean, even contact me. Everybody can contact me on Discord. I'm right there in your Discord.
Yeah.
Facebook,
notes.
Twitter, wherever. I'm there. Just tag me. So if you have any questions as far as what to bring, I mean, bring your own console, obviously.
Yeah.
No, you do not have to stream. No, it is not necessary for you to stream. Bring your own surge protector if you can. Just because that's something that we have stressed in the past. There is a difference between a power strip and a surge protector.
Right.
Please know the difference. But if you do not, we will have enough ability to provide you with power for your area, for your.
Yeah. So you basically get like a kind of like there's these giant long tables and kind of painting a picture for people. There's a bunch of rows of tables and everybody gets kind of like a couple feet width on this table. So you set up your monitor, you set up your gaming thing, your console or whatever, and you kind of just go. And the other thing too that is kind of fun is people moved around a lot. There are some people that I actually think don't even know if they had their own setup. They just kind of like wandered from like playing with me to playing with Joe to playing with whoever.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of so. There's a lot of different ways that people can still like attend, be in person. It's I think I don't want to say most hardcore because it's just sort of like it's just the most involved, I guess, or most. I don't know. I'm trying not to be like elitist about it. But the hardest way to get involved is to stream. Is like you're going to need a PC. You're going to need or do the whole like. Through a webcam, attach it to an Xbox kind of deal. Maybe that's a possibility as well.
Yeah.
But streaming and playing on your own kind of setup is like option one. And then another option is like, bring a console and maybe you guys set them up with a monitor and then you just play and kind of enjoy the 24-hour adult sleepover that you never really get a chance to do. Like it's the nerdiest sleepover you'll ever be part of. Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna try. And one of the things we wanted to try was to incorporate like not just video games, but do maybe tabletop games, or have people just interact with each other, and you can even just take your phone and then just like do a quick Facebook Live of yourself, or a quick story on Instagram, of what you're doing, and finding people to donate to your cause, donate to your fundraising, so that you can fund your Children's Miracle Network Hospital, whichever that one may be. So it's definitely it's just a ton of fun, and I think the camaraderie is so different with an event like this, because everybody's there because it's about not just playing games, but also helping sick kids out. And that's the biggest, to me, that's the thing that's the most important, obviously. But the other part that I don't think a lot of people who have never been there won't understand this until they get there.
Yeah.
Is the feeling of just being there with people that you never thought you'd meet in real life.
Yeah.
But then you're able to play the games, and you're able to have fun, and you're able to
spend real time together.
It's like, it's for me, it was such a treat to like finally see you, to get to hang out with you.
Same here, man.
And to have you in my house, like, Becky jokes around. She goes, "You wanted to spend more time with Sean than me." I said, "Well,
it was like once and forever." And also, I don't know, man. I've been thinking about a lot of these kind of like moments, and for whatever reason, I have a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and I still remember talking to you guys the first time, and you offering, like, if you're ever in upstate New York. I remember like laughing at the idea, like, when the hell am I going to just be like passing on through? Like, do you have any idea how far that is? You know how many time zones that is? Like, it's just such a like kind of a laughable thought and gesture, even, but like a very kind gesture, and just to open up your home and your hometown and all that stuff, just to help kids. And I've always remembered it. I can picture that moment in my mind, even all these years, like it was probably 6 years ago. And like, of all the things that have come to pass, like this, it's a very special thing.
Right,
I know it's a tricky one, because I'm trying to lay it down heavy for some people to go like, come now, like we couldn't do it last year, like now's the year. And it's like, I understand too that there's still some caution.
Oh yeah, exactly. And
because all I want to do is like, it's not guaranteed to happen every year. That's all I want to say to people is like, if there's anything that we've learned, it's that not every day is a guarantee.
Right. Because I mean, after 2019, we were already starting to plan what we were going to do in 2020. Mm-hmm. And, I remember we had our first meeting in January of 2020, and we're like, okay, so I emailed the girl that we're working with at the college, and I said, all right, book us now for that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that we want that room, so we can start setting up that Friday. But this is the potential date. It's not 100% solid yet, but more than likely this is going to be the date. Mark it down. She goes, absolutely, we'll mark you down now. And then we're starting to plan, like, what we wanted to do for 2020 and how what we wanted to improve upon. Yeah. Who we wanted to go to as far as like being sponsors, things like that for the event. Mm-hmm. We just had such a rush of ideas, and then COVID hit, and we were just like, well, what do we do? Yeah. And we held off. We absolutely held off. We tried to wait it out until, I remember it was July last year, and that's when COVID numbers were still so high, and everything was just ridiculous. And I remember I sent in chat one day to the team. I said, I think we have to call it. Yeah. And I said, I remember what was the catalyst.
It's funny because you're making a decision, like you had to choose one way or another at that point, and then as time went on, it's like there wasn't even a decision to be made. Like it's just it was forced upon everyone.
I remember the catalyst. The catalyst for it was when I heard BlizzCon was canceled.
Right. Yeah.
That was my catalyst for it. I said, BlizzCon just got canceled in November.
Yeah.
We have to make a choice now, because if we're gonna not have an in-person event, then we have to throw all of our resources into doing an online event.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to do it virtually.
And didn't 2020 didn't we out fundraise 2019? I
Yeah, we did.
We did, right? So
We
so
did.
that's kind of one big thing that I wanted. So a big goal 2021.
Yeah.
Like I take this very seriously, man. Like I'm actively fundraising for 2 fundraisers right now. They're going to be done on the 19th. I think my heart one is on the 19th. And then it's Extra Life from September 20th until November 5th or whatever. I'm all in, man. Like I'm tackling this thing like nobody's business. Is a huge reason why I wanted you on this. I get fired up about this stuff because I know that it's possible. And one of the things that I'll say, I get very kind of intense about like the fundraising, and I want somebody to beat me. Like it seems like such an ego thing, and it's a bit of a play and it's a bit of theatrics. But I want somebody, because I know I'm good at it. I know that I will raise a lot of money for this thing.
Yeah.
And if I raise a lot of money and somebody beats me, that means that we raise that much more.
Much more. The funny, as I was looking at the numbers after last year's event. Now, we hit a huge number thanks to our raffles, because we scored the PS5, we scored the Series X. We had a Switch Lite donated to us.
Yeah.
So
Skinny Matt somehow won all those things.
Skinny Matt, I had to meet him on the thruway. I had to meet him on the highway, like halfway. And I remember I was handing him the Series X, and I'm going, my microphone on my phone is not picking up jack whatever on this Facebook Live, so nobody's hearing me. But I remember handing it to him. He was just so excited. Him and Preston were there. They were just so happy to get it. And then when I handed off when I awarded the PS5 to the winner, who actually was a local person as well. So when I handed it to him, I said, I took him aside and I said, wow, I can't believe, how much you threw in for this PS5. And he said, dude, I was ready to just spend all my money and not worry about losing, because one, it's for a good cause. And number two, I know my money isn't going to a scalper.
Right. Yeah. Especially that time. Yeah. Definitely top of mind.
I said, I can't believe how much he spent on it just to get all those tickets for that PS5. And
was it pretty much a guarantee? Like you would have seen the odds. Like was it pretty much like if he doesn't win, then
no.
Oh, really?
No,
so it's pretty. No, okay, interesting.
Because you were.
Well, I mean, he's in with the mix with everybody else. Yeah, that's a good point.
You were in on it as well. You were in there with him. You had.
Oh, that's right. That was me, because I had my Xbox already taken care of. So I put. Oh snap! Okay, now I'm mad at this guy. What the hell?
So when I'm printing, oh my god, it was ridiculous. A little behind the scenes look. So I'm printing out all the cards that I was going to put into the box.
Yeah. And
like your name, his name, and then there was 2 others that were local. They each raised like $1,000 each. So they were also like, because every $5 got you a free ticket.
Oh,
so you hit like $2,000 or something. So I'm going, so it's going to be between this guy who bought, all these tickets, or Sean who raised all this money, or the other 2 can pull it off and be a wild card winner. So it
only takes one
intense.
ticket. That's the thing, is it only takes one ticket.
It does.
So the other thing that I wanted to touch on was 2019, amazing. We had so many people there, raised a bunch of money. I think we hit over 10,000, maybe 11,000. Last year, not able to have the live event. We all went virtual. It had a bunch of people killing it with the fundraising. This year, maybe a bit of a blend. So if people can't attend, they can still go to extra-life.something.org to join.
Yep. So basically, what I'm gonna say, and this is going to be available at some point this week. If you go to phoenixoverdrive.com, there will be a link right there to our Extra Life team page.
Nice. Okay.
It's going to be like plastered right there in the front home screen. Love it. Just go phoenixoverdrive.com and go from there. Just to touch on the fundraising numbers too. So last year, because of not having an online event, Kevin Austin and the PSVG guys, they did their own thing. Just because they wanted to do it with us, but because we had no in-person event, they said, "Look, we'll just do it on our own. But next year we'll come back with you." So I said, "No, that's absolutely fine. You're still doing it. You're still doing the event. As long as you're fundraising for kids to help them, by all means, do what you got to do." And so I took our numbers and I took PSVG's numbers. We hit combined as the two was over 20,000.
It's amazing.
Over 20,000. I said, because if that 20,000 was one team, top 50 team in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Top 50.
Like you start to put it into the realm of like some of those gigantic channels that have like 30,000 people watching their streams and everything. Right. And we do that with like our ragtag bunch of indie podcasting, content creators.
That to me, and that right there goes back to the notion earlier that we talked about. It's because we have the passion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what it is. We have the passion to be a driving force to help kids.
Yeah.
Can't put it any other way than that.
We're gonna do it again, man. So, I'm so excited. I can practically taste it, whatever that even means. I don't know exactly what I'm tasting. Is it like the sweat from I don't know, Preston? Or maybe Beth is a better example. I'm not sure why.
Well, listen,
or a PC. I don't know.
When you get here on that Friday, I'm gonna have an amazing dinner planned for you.
Well, that's not necessary, man. I'm actually just excited about the Amtrak, dude. I love taking the train. I don't know why.
Becky and I are going to have a crazy dinner planned for you. We want to make sure that you are treated well, and
we want to,
man. Listen, but we want to. We want to take care of you, and like you said before, it's just still so crazy that we were able to say, "Hey, Sean's coming up here." Yeah. Sean is coming here again.
Everything just seems to work out, man. It's all we just, you think about it long enough and you figure things out. And luckily, I've got a wife who is right on board with all of this stuff. Yeah. Like she could easily, I don't know, she's just obviously you have to go to Extra Life. It's not even a conversation, know, it's just, that's the weekend for that thing that happens.
And Becky's so super, she's just been so super supportive of me just kind of laser focusing on this when it comes time for it.
Yeah.
She knows that I have the priorities that I need to establish, but when it comes to this is my passion project.
Yeah, man.
And she knows that she knows I've got to get right in there and take care of this because this is my baby and I want it to succeed. I want it to grow every single time that we do this.
Mm-hmm.
I have high expectations of what we can do because I know what we're capable of.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
always so selfless, man. You're really there. You could easily just not do it. But a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun. A lot of money is going to be raised. A lot of kids are going to be helped.
All I'm saying is this. 2023 Extra Life is going to be bonkers.
2023? What about 2022? What about 2021?
Well, 2021.
Oh, you've got something in mind. Oh, no.
But here's the reason why. 2023 Extra Life, I'm anticipating game day will occur on November 4th. That's my birthday.
Oh, okay.
That's my birthday.
Damn. What's that? I knew that. Totally knew that.
Not only that, 11/4/2023 will be my 40th birthday.
Oh, wow.
So
okay. Yeah, we're on the road here. Okay, I see.
I'm gonna be. I have really big plans for that one.
To tie it all together, that will be the Olympiad after the 2019. That'll be 4 years after 2019. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, 4 years after 2019.
There
4 years after. Yeah.
4 years after it's 40 years. It's a whole nerd number or number nerds unite. You guys can figure all that kind of stuff out. Lee, I'm gonna leave all the show notes all the links and everything in the show notes where people can join the team and they can contact you and all that other stuff.
Absolutely.
But, so I'm not gonna do it unless you want. Do you want to tell anybody about anything else other than how to reach you for Extra Life or anything like that?
No, there's nothing else at this point. So
okay.
Like you said, it's all in the show notes. Hit me up on Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Hell, I'll even put my phone number in the Discord for people to text me if they want to.
The best thing people can do is sign up, even if you don't know exactly. That's my advice in collaboration with you is even if you don't know exactly what that game day is going to look like, just register now. You figure out the rest later. It's not like a gigantic commitment or anything like that, but at least you get that one thing started, and we know that you're interested, and we can start to help everybody out and get them ready for that day. So that's the best thing people can do. Yeah.
And one other thing is, if you are planning to come up here and are wondering, where to stay and whatever, we've got a few ideas of where people can stay as far as there's hotels, there's Airbnbs available that are, $30 a night or something like that. So, let us know. Absolutely let us know. And there's a whole team of us here in Rome that will make sure that you're taken care of. We will make sure you know where to go as far as, getting food or getting this taken care of, that taken care of. We've got our vehicles that we can drive you around if you're coming in by train, by plane, by whatever. Jetpack.
I want to know who's coming in by a boat. Who's coming in some sort of canoe? Mark Carabin's going to be coming in like by canoe or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Somebody coming in on like the back of a whale.
Right, exactly. Todd Oxtra from the land of 1,000 lakes there in Minnesota.
Please do, honestly. That would be amazing. We'll have a big presentation on how everybody got there part of the way through.
Exactly.
So. All right, Lee, man, this has been so much fun. I just somehow just kind of fired myself up. I've been exhausted all day, and now I'm all like hot piss and vinegar. I'm not sure what the saying is, but I'm all excited, man. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm ready too. I feel like it's happening like next week, and I mean, in some ways, it's going to happen. It's going to jump up on us.
It's going to come up. It's going to come out sooner rather than
less than 2 months from today.
It is. So, it is.
Wait, is it is it the 6th? It's actually November 6th.
Exactly.
Game day? So 2 months.
It's 2 months from today.
We've got 2 months to go, today. Man. Okay, well,
yeah,
we probably should get at it then.
I guess so. We should probably plan this.
An amazing thing. What a great thing to be looking forward to each and every year. In the springtime when we have E3 kind of came back this year. And of course games come out in the holiday season and Christmas and whatever holidays, all that kind of stuff. But Extra Life is something else, man. Extra Life is so special. And it's funny, I was talking to Chelsea about it, and it's like, it's not even like a conversation anymore. Like, it's as regular as birthdays at this point. This is just what we do in November. We gear up, we fundraise, we all get together, we see what we can do, and it's just been getting better and better every year. And I'm just so, again, I'm so grateful to the entire community for making this a thing. This isn't something that we have to even, we don't really have to, introduce it, I don't think, too much anymore. But if you're new, guys, if you don't know what Extra Life is, maybe if we skipped anything over this, please reach out. It is open for everybody. Okay, that's the best thing, and that's one thing that I'm definitely taking away from Lee. When we first met, like I said, he's like, come on up. That's what makes it better. That's what makes this all awesome. So shout out to freaking Extra Life. Also, the best adult sleepover of all time. That's what you guys can count on when you join us in Rome, New York. I'll be in New York City the day before. I'll take the train. I just booked my Amtrak tickets, actually. I think it was actually just after... I think Lee and I did that after we recorded this. I think it was $35 to go from New York City to Rome, and then $35 back. So it's, pretty dang affordable. And I like the train. I don't know if any of you guys have really tried it. It's a good time. You get lots of space. There's a plug-in for your games and whatever. And if we all do this together, who knows, man? Who knows what madness could ensue? We'll all be safe. We'll have more details on that guy very soon. But again, if you even have questions, hit me up, hit Lee up. All the links are in the show notes. That's really important too. It's one thing for us to say the links. I've always thought about this on the podcast. I can tell you all the links we want. extra-life.org/participant/Sean Capri, whatever. You're not taking notes. You're probably driving right now or running or eating or whatever. You're not able to write that down. You're not gonna, even as they say, what are you supposed to do with that? I always wonder that. So there's show notes. They're go in there. They're all there. You can click on the links, all of them. Now I really got to make sure that they're there. But I had a great time with Lee. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. The next episode I've already recorded is with Lord Sovereign from Iron Lords Podcast. It's going to be amazing. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you for listening to this. This is the end of the show where we do the thing with Jason from Heavy Rain. And I still don't know why. I should probably come up with a better way to close than just to get interrupted by this idiot.
Jason! 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 Sean! 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 Sean, where are you? Jason! Jason! Jason!
Sean! 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 Sean!
Jason! 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 Jason!